In this video, I'm going to be reacting to Doc Dark 1985 in his video entitled Xbox will now charge $70 for their first-party games. This some BS. I watched this ahead of time. It is safe for work. He doesn't swear, even though he's saying it's BS, so you can watch this without fear of swearing, since I don't swear in my content. I wanted to watch it ahead of time. I like this guy, okay? This is a good video. You guys are going to want to watch the whole thing. Hey, support his channel. We'll link below. I do. I like this guy. Let's get into this one.
What's up, everybody? Doc Dark 1985. There's levels to this. Okay, guys. So, Microsoft just came out and announced that.
Let me just start off by saying I'm immediately intimidated. He's strong. He's handsome. He's probably tall. I do my content sitting down. He does it standing up. He's exuding confidence. Let's get into his commentary.
They're gonna go ahead and start charging $70 for all their major first-party games. I had to look at it and read it twice. Microsoft, where do you get the testicular fortitude to even do this?
That's probably the best line. I really do. The testicular fortitude. I love that. I need that on a shirt. Doc, put it on a shirt, dude. He's so irritated.
What major first-party game are you talking about? So let me get this straight. You haven't released a major first-party game in over a year.
That's right.
But the next one that comes out is going to be $70.
Yeah. Yep.
Are you out of your mind?
He doesn't want to. It's like he doesn't want to get too mad. I love it. I love it. But I love the angle that he's coming from. When I covered this the other day, I said, man, I don't know. People are going to be kind of irritated. They're like, you haven't even been releasing games. And when you finally do release the next one, it's going to be 70? Come on. Like, I am in support of game prices going up with inflation. I've been saying for a long time, we pay way less than we used to traditionally. $60 when I was growing up for a cartridge was, $110 roughly, according to inflation back then. That was a lot of money. And so I'm okay with it, but I did say, listen, the Xbox fan base could easily look at this and be like, what in the world? You barely launched anything, and now you're doing the price hike? I think this is a bit of a burner issue. People are ticked.
We have no idea what quality games you can produce because you haven't produced anything that's first party or major within the last year.
Yep.
But now you want to charge $70 for the next one that comes out. Meaning if these games weren't delayed, they would have been 60.
I said people would ask that. I said people would be like, well, wait a minute, if Starfield wouldn't have got delayed, would it have been $60? By the way, I like his microphone. Like, it's got good sound. Obviously, I prefer the podcast style, but I love his ability to, have freedom of movement. Don't tell my producer I said that.
If these games weren't delayed, they would have been 60, right? But because life circumstances, sure. Bad management, sure. Whatever the excuse is, you couldn't figure out a way to release games in 2022.
That's a really important thing to stress here, is that 2022 was very vacant for Xbox.
Even though Nintendo and Sony did. Now the punishment is on us, and we got to pay extra $10 next year. Are you out of your mind?
That's a good point. Like, I know it's been rough. I know it sucks, and everything that happened made it really hard to shift. But, I mean, he's right. Nintendo and Sony somehow figured out how to launch games in 2022. And outside of Forza, all you had was Halo prior to that, and Halo isn't doing so hot.
A lot of people out there want to blame Sony for this.
Yep, they do.
That's like when you go to therapy and you acknowledge what the root of a problem is, but you don't acknowledge that now you're a grown person that can make your own decisions. I'll give you an example. I grew up without a father. Father wasn't in my life, okay? I have kids now, okay? I am in my kid's life, very much so. To therapy, a lot of my issues stem from this. However, as a grown man, I understand that I can still make decisions that aren't fully affected by this. So Sony charging $70 for their games doesn't give the excuse of Microsoft saying, well, they're doing it, we're going to go ahead and do it. Because if that's the case, then I should have abandoned my kids too.
I love the point that he makes. I love that he makes it personal. And I do think at one level he is correct. At another level, industry standards happen. Pricing standards happen. So this has happened before historically, so I think what he's saying is good. Don't blame Sony for this. Okay, Microsoft made the choice. I think that's the overarching point that he is making.
Little life lesson for you there. So stop making excuses about your past.
He should just make those kind of videos.
Anyways, before I turn it to Dr. Phil. $70 games when you haven't proven a whole year now. Because here's the deal. These games have to be greater than Halo.
That's right.
Infinite. And they have to be greater than Forza Horizon 5. And what I mean is the impact, regardless of what any fanboy wants to say from the other side, everyone was playing Forza when that game came out. Everyone was playing Halo when that game came out. More people would have still been playing Forza if Microsoft would have waited to release Halo Infinite, but they didn't. Halo Infinite undercut Forza. You understand that, right? So Xbox was booming at the end of 2021. There's no questions that they can say whatever they want. They're flat out lying. Both those games were breaking records, okay?
That I don't think is true. I appreciated his point that, like, if they would have waited with Halo, Forza could have sort of been the shining star for a longer period of time. I think that's a well-made point, that number one, you launched another title right on top of one, and it wasn't even that good. Halo wasn't breaking records. Halo very quickly was in a bad place. Player-based numbers dropping, things not working. I don't think Halo broke any records. I don't think it did anything special, which is unfortunate. I think that undercuts his point a little bit, but his point about Forza I think is a good one. It's like, you didn't really let one of your all-stars shine, and if they would have let Halo cook for longer, it would have come out and been better instead of the state that it's in now, and now they've got people leaving, and it looks like the game is just going to take a super long time to get anywhere. I recently argued that it's probably just time to start over with new leadership, learn everything you can from Halo Infinite research and development style, and then implement that in the next Halo game. I think Halo Infinite's beyond redemption at this point, which is unfortunate. I'm all about redemption arcs. I'm all about second chances, but I don't think Halo Infinite is going to pull it off. So I appreciate his point, but I think he overstates it a little bit by saying they were breaking records, because I don't think Halo Infinite lasted very long at all within the Xbox ecosystem as a good and successful player funnel game.
Fair enough. Great games.
Thank you. Fair enough.
They were $60 though.
Oh, yeah.
The base games were $60. So now you're going to charge $70 for these games. They better be better than that.
And I think what he's saying is what a lot of consumers are going to think. A lot of consumers are going to say, I didn't even pay for Halo Infinite. I just played the multiplayer for free on Game Pass. You know, actually, no, the multiplayer is just free. The campaign is on Game Pass. So a lot of people aren't even going to think of Halo in that perspective. They might think about it with Forza, and Forza's really good. So anybody who paid $60 for Forza, just wait. He's got another banger. I love this guy.
Not only that, they better be finished. No game modes missing. None of that stuff.
Get 'em.
Oh, you better not have any game modes missing.
Get 'em,
And
Doc.
here's the last thing I'm going to leave at it. Don't you dare charge $70 for a 30 frames per second game.
That's right. That's right. We just talked about this. We just talked about this with Starfield.
Don't you dare, Microsoft. So I'm talking about Starfield right now.
That's right.
This game's not going to have a performance mode?
We don't know. We don't know. I'm concerned. I might do a whole show on this. Todd Howard apparently dodged the question in one interview, and then the recent interview with Lex Friedman said that they've traditionally targeted 30. That's concerning. A $70 next-gen game launching at 30. Ask Gotham Knights how that went for them when that got out before the game even released.
It's only going to run at 30 frames and you're going to charge $70 for it? Now, let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room.
Let's do it.
Doc, you don't buy $70 games, even though you guys know that I have bought $70 games to my regret. Doc, you don't like buying $70 games. Plus, it's going to be on Game Pass. This is the only reason I'm not satisfied with the it's going to be on Game Pass answer.
Okay.
If they feel confident raising the price of these games for no other reason at all, they haven't proven anything, right? They just want to raise the price of the games, okay?
Keep in mind the commentary is they believe it's in line with the quality of the game. So they are linking the $70 price point to the game's quality. They haven't said anything about inflation, so think about that.
Why would they not raise the price of Game Pass without proving anything either? Game Pass is great. Game Pass is awesome. But Game Pass Ultimate is $15 a month. I expect that if you raise it from that, you're bringing something else to it or the service is going to get better.
And that is an almost assured reality that will happen. Game Pass will go up in price. It will. It's going to. It's probably going to happen late next year. The rise in price for Redfall and Starfield and other first-party titles is probably going to drive more people to Game Pass, and then after they get all those people in that funnel, then they'll raise the price. That's not skeezy or scummy. Everybody does it. Disney Plus did it. Netflix is doing it. Everybody does it, right? You hit your plateau of saturation and subscribers, and the only way you're going to generate more revenue to keep things going and growing and expanding your revenue margins for your shareholders is to raise the price of the subscription. That's fine. That's fine. I'm not saying they shouldn't do that, but that is going to happen. He's making a good point. Are they going to have anything extra at that time? Because they're linking this $10 price increase to the quality of the games, and is that going to be something measurable and noticeable? Imagine Starfield being $70 and being 30 FPS, being compared to games like Ragnarok and Horizon Forbidden West. Those are $70 games that have amazing graphical performance, and what, Starfield is going to be coming out of 30? I'm not saying it is, but if it does, that's going to be bad for both Starfield and the Xbox platform.
That's what I expect. Maybe this is their way of not having to increase Game Pass. And if that's the case, okay, because I'm a Game Pass gamer. But still, there's something sleazy about not releasing a first-party major game for over a year, and then the next one that comes out is going to be $70.
I actually think he's making a good point that if both Redfall and Starfield would have launched in 2022 and a bunch of unforeseen future games were going to be 70, this would be being received, I think, very differently by people. I think that's a well-made point.
I'm really curious to see what the community thinks about this. Because unlike those other communities, I know in here we have our own freaking personalities and our own freaking mindset, and we think about things differently. We don't all just follow blindly.
My man said frickin'. I like him. I think we need to make some videos. We'll talk.
So I'm curious to see what people are thinking. $70 games for first-party major games when they haven't released anything in the last year, so we have no idea what they're capable of on these machines. Halo Infinite, Forza Horizon 5, great games. They were $60. If you're going to charge $10 more, they better be greater than those. That to me makes logical sense.
I actually like how he framed that too, because they haven't proven it, right? Like when Returnal and Ratchet and Clank walked out into the marketplace at $70 on the PS5, people were like, what? Seriously? And then look at how the games were talked about. Look at how many award nominations both of those games got. Look how many awards Returnal won, especially at the BAFTAs. So they proved what a $70 game could do and look like on the PS5, right? So I obviously get accused of being a Sony fanboy. I have been rooting for Xbox pretty hardcore, and I even said in my recent coverage, this is concerning because it's going to make everybody be way more critical and way more judgmental of Starfield, which is supposed to be one of the flagships of Xbox, a title that I've been looking forward to. I loved that video that Todd Howard did about the dialogue trees and stuff, but now people are going to be saying what he's saying. It better be better. It better be awesome.
It makes logical sense.
I agree.
Dog 1985, there's levels to this. We out. Peace.
I like him. I really do. I had to watch the video since we're bringing reaction content home to live here on Reforge Gaming instead of a separate channel because we can do uploads here now. So if you guys appreciate this upload style content, this reaction style content, check out my live streams, Reforge Gaming. We do daily talk shows and live streams. If Doc watches this, man, I would love to. I'd love to connect and do stuff. He seems like a genuinely cool dude, and I like his perspective on things. I like the fact that he seems like he's pro Xbox, but he's also kind of being like, man, what are y'all doing? And I appreciated the candor. So if you like this video, hit subscribe and the bell button so I can see you in the next Reforge reaction.